Hi, my name's Samantha. If you don't already know me, I'm currently in my bathroom. It's like 11:30 at night. I just thought I would share this personal story with you. I've been asked about it, why are you in the hospital so much? What's going on? So I kind of just wanted to sit down in front of a camera and tell you a personal story tonight that I've been going through for almost a year now. I would say a year. A lot of people just don't know about it. So I just kind of wanted to share it with you, and if anybody can relate or have what I'm going to tell you I got diagnosed with, you can reach out to me, we can talk about it. I just kind of wanted to make a video about it. So I'm going to start at the very beginning. Sorry if I get jumbled everywhere. I'm really bad at telling stories, but I'm going to try my best to stay in order and say it as correctly as possible. So about 8 to 6 months ago, I would say past 6 months, I would say like almost a year, I started having these, like, I called them episodes, and something was really wrong with me and I just didn't know what it was. So I kind of ignored it for a while until it got to the point I couldn't ignore it anymore, and I had them for about 6 months before I sought help, which was the first mistake. So my primary doctor thought it was anxiety, and it was just like symptoms of anxiety, so he started me on this medication called Prozac. So I started taking this Prozac, and it helped with my anxiety, but not with the episodes I was having. Whew. Not with the episodes I was having. So I called my primary doctor back, said, hey, it's helping the anxiety, but not with this issue that I'm having. So because it starts in the throat, and I'll tell you more about that later, he referred me to an ENT doctor, or an ENT specialist, is ear, nose, and throat. So the ear, nose, and throat doctor checked me out. Everything was fine. He was like, there's nothing wrong with your ear, nose, or throat. It's a different problem. I said, okay. So my primary doctor ordered me an EEG, which is your brain waves in your brain. That came back abnormal. So, and at that point, I made an appointment to see a neurologist specialist. But going back, so it came back abnormal. I had the appointment. I was still having these episodes, as you will call them, as I was calling them at the time. So once they got so bad, I was having like 7 or 8 in the morning, and it was just horrible. So I thought it was time to go to the ER. So I went to the emergency room, and they took a little bit more time to get to know my problem, and they took a CAT scan of my brain. Everything was normal, but my EEG was abnormal, and from what I told them, they came up with a diagnosis after all this time, and it was focal awareness seizures. If you don't know what that is, it's basically it's not like a grandma seizure where I fall to the ground and stuff. It affects just my face, and it's only part of your brain that is affected at the time. That's why it's called a partial focal seizure, if you will. So I was so happy to finally get a diagnosis and get medicine. They started me on Keppra, which I started taking. So anyway, the Keppra started working. I went almost a month without a seizure, which was like amazing because I was having them every day at that point. And if you don't know, seizures make your body very tired, very drained, very just tired. Anyway, so I was going through all that. Once I got diagnosed with the seizures, I couldn't drive, so I switched jobs, not just because of the seizures, but because when you have to have somebody drive you around, it's kind of more convenient for them. You don't want to make a hard time on them. So I switched jobs, which I still work with children, which I'm very excited about. But so it started affecting my everyday life. Once I got my diagnosis, I started taking this medication. This medication, took a long time to actually work, but when it did start to work and get in my system, I told you, I haven't had one for almost a month. And then maybe a week ago, they started reoccurring out of thin air. I was having 10 in the morning, 10 seizures when I woke up. And I would be so tired. I haven't been working recently, which really sucks because I love what I do. So it's affected my life tremendously. You can't drive, it's hard to work. It's hard to do daily things. You're not supposed to swim on your own. Your independence is kind of taken away at this point. So, I went along with my diagnosis because I was just happy to get one in general, because I didn't even seek help until 6 months after they started. So I started taking this Keppra medicine and it started working and stuff. And then they recently came back. So I went back to the emergency room because they just got so bad. So they upped my dosage of Keppra. And it's been a few days now and it's not really working. I know it takes a few days for the medication to get in your system and stuff. I just know it's not working very well. I had, I think, 2 this morning and then like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, so I'm still having them every day. And at this point it's called epilepsy. They say if you have more than 1 seizure in a day or more on an ongoing process, you call it epilepsy. So I say epilepsy or focal seizures, just what they're called. So I got my neurologist specialist actually earlier, so now my appointment is sooner and it's sometime next week. So I'm really excited about that, maybe to get more answers, kind of see what's going on more in my brain, because seizures are so unpredictable. And when you have focal seizures, it could affect different parts of your brain. You have a temporal lobe, your frontal lobe, and these are all things you can have a seizure with, like in your brain. So I guess it's not much more to tell than my journey. Let me explain to you what actually happens when I go through a seizure. So it starts in my throat. It's like somebody's holding my throat and it constricts my breathing. So I know when I'm about to have one. I know when one's gonna come on. It constricts my breathing for a while, then it goes up to my eyes and it makes my eyes start to twitch. It makes my eyes start to water really, really, really badly. It makes my face twitch some, and it makes a lot of pressure on my face. It's like somebody's pushing their hand on my face. And so when I open my eyes are like bloodshot red because of all the pressure from this like seizure that I'm having. And after that, I like had this cough spell where I'm coughing until like I almost throw up. I know it's like too much information, but it's a serious video, so until I almost throw up. And these seizures happen again and again and again. They happen mostly in the morning, so I can wake up and have 5 seizures. And then it's hard to get up and go to work when your body is so tired and so drained of these seizures. And this ongoing journey is very physical as emotional. You're going through this, you can't drive anymore, you're switching jobs, so your whole life's pretty much changing from these focal seizures. So I just kind of wanted to share my story with y'all, kind of let y'all know what's like going on with me, because a lot of y'all just don't know. But yeah, it's been hard. I'm really excited for this neurologist specialist appointment coming up. Maybe I'll get more answers, or he can change my medication. This is very new. It's probably going to take a lifetime of medication to help with this. I'll probably have to take medication for the rest of my life. It came out of nowhere. I haven't had any head trauma. I wasn't born with it. Just kind of came out of thin air. And for a while, I never knew until I actually got this diagnosis, not from my primary doctor, but from the ER, which I thought was pretty funny. But anyway, so I guess there's not much really to say anymore, but I just kind of wanted to share my story with y'all and kind of let y'all know what's going on in my life. And if you are having these things that sound like it, maybe they're seizures. I didn't know what it was for the longest time until I got my diagnosis. They are, the medication that I'm taking currently is Prozac and Keppra, and these 2 medications are really, I wouldn't say like strong in a way, but they make you very emotional. They make you like very aware of your emotions, so you have to go through this emotional process just as much as the physical too. After a seizure, if you don't really know what seizures are, you can look them up and what your body goes through when you have a seizure. But having 12 seizures in the morning, you're not really able to even function to go to work. So right now it's a very big question mark on my future and everything that's going on in my life. But I kind of just wanted to share the story with you and kind of let you know what's going on in my life, and maybe somebody can relate to me and go get help. I really don't know what else to say, but thank you for listening if you're still here. Maybe say a prayer for me, and I really hope that I get a better diagnosis, or get medication that really works for me soon. It is very difficult living with it every day, but we are making do in my house. So thank you for listening, and if you're going through seizures as well, feel free to contact me, and me and you can talk, because like I said, it's not only physical but very emotional, because it is your life that is put on hold, and having to figure out the right medication, and having your life is basically stopped until you get the right medication and everything for that. So I know a lot of people suffer from seizures, but this is something that just came out of thin air for me. So it's really weird for even me to say that I have seizures. I never thought I would be diagnosed with seizures. I never thought it was a seizure, but just kind of what it is. And I'm really excited, like I said, for this appointment coming up. So, if you want to say a prayer for me, thank you. But I hopefully will get the right medication. And I don't know why I made this video. I kind of just wanted to sit down and get personal for a little bit, and kind of let you know what I'm going through in my life right now. A lot of people just don't know about it. So thank you for listening, and I will have an update for y'all after my neurologist specialist. So good night.